Welcome to my channel, you lot. Today we're taking on a culinary classic, one that's been butchered by more home cooks than I care to remember. That's right, we're tackling quesadillas. But listen up, because we're not settling for soggy disasters. We're going for crispy golden perfection, packed with flavor that will blow your socks off. Over the next 15 recipes, I'm going to show you how to elevate this humble dish to Michelin star standards. Get your pans ready, because things are about to get delicious. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more delicious recipes. First up, let's nail the classic beef, cheese, and bean quesadilla. We're talking tender, juicy beef, perfectly melted cheese, and a touch of heat from the beans. You'll need good quality ground beef, about half a pound. Brown that in a hot pan with a touch of oil until it's beautifully browned and crisp. Drain off any excess grease, we don't want a soggy mess. Now, while the beef is sizzling away, get your beans ready. I'm using black beans today, but pinto or kidney beans would work a treat. You'll need about 1 cup. Drain and rinse them, then warm them through in a separate pan. Now for the cheese, and don't be stingy. I'm using a mix of cheddar and Monterey Jack for that perfect melt and tang. You'll need about 1.5 cups of shredded cheese. Grate it up if you haven't already. You want it ready to go when that pan heats up. Next up, we're taking things up a notch with a BBQ chicken quesadilla that'll have you licking your fingers. Start with 2 cups of cooked shredded chicken. Rotisserie chicken works a treat here, saves you time and effort. Now, for that smoky BBQ flavor, we're using my secret weapon, a good quality BBQ sauce. Don't even think about using that store-bought rubbish. Mix the shredded chicken with 1/2 cup of BBQ sauce until it's nicely coated. Now, for the cheese, I'm going for 1 cup of sharp cheddar and a sprinkle of 1/2 cup of smoked Gouda to really amp up that smoky flavor. Get your tortillas ready and let's build this masterpiece. For this recipe, we're ditching the meat and going for a vegetarian option that's bursting with flavor. We're using sweet potatoes and chorizo, a match made in culinary heaven. Start by dicing 2 medium sweet potatoes into small cubes. Toss them with a drizzle of olive oil, salt, pepper, and a pinch of smoked paprika for an extra kick. Roast them in a preheated oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for about 25 minutes until they're tender and slightly caramelized. While the sweet potatoes are roasting, prepare 8 ounces of chorizo. Remove the casing and crumble it into a hot pan. Cook it until it's crispy and golden brown, then set it aside. Now for the cheese, I'm going for 1/2 cup of crumbled feta and a sprinkle of mozzarella for that perfect melt. Let's get back to basics with a classic ground beef quesadilla. This one's all about simplicity and letting the flavors speak for themselves. Start with 1 pound of good quality ground beef, seasoned with 1 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of pepper, and a touch of cumin for warmth. Brown it in a hot pan until it's cooked through and slightly crispy. While the beef is cooking, prepare your other ingredients. Dice 1 medium onion and 1 green bell pepper for a bit of crunch and freshness. Once the beef is cooked, add the onions and peppers to the pan and cook until softened. Now for the cheese, I'm keeping it simple with 1 cup of shredded sharp cheddar. This one's for all you chili lovers out there. We're making a cheese and chili quesadilla that's packed with flavor and a good kick of heat. Start with your favorite chili recipe. You'll need about 2 cups of chili. You can use beef, chicken, or even a vegetarian chili. Make sure it's nice and thick. We don't want a soggy quesadilla. While the chili is simmering away, prepare your cheese. You'll need 1 cup of grated cheese. I'm using a mix of 1/2 cup Monterey Jack, 1/2 cup pepper jack, and a sprinkle of queso fresco for a bit of tang. Once the chili is heated through, it's time to assemble our quesadillas. Who says quesadillas are just for lunch or dinner? This shrimp and egg quesadilla is the perfect way to start your day. Start by peeling and deveining 1/2 pound of shrimp. Season them with 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, and a squeeze of lime juice. Saute them in a hot pan with a touch of oil until they're pink and cooked through. While the shrimp are cooking, whisk together 4 eggs with a splash of milk or cream. Season them with 1/4 teaspoon of salt and a pinch of pepper. In a separate pan, melt 1 tablespoon of butter and pour in your egg mixture. Cook the eggs until they're set but still slightly runny. Now it's time to assemble our breakfast quesadillas. Get ready to experience the iconic flavors of Philadelphia with this cheesesteak quesadilla. Start by thinly slicing 1 pound of ribeye steak. Season it with 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of pepper, and a touch of garlic powder. Saute the steak in a hot pan with a touch of oil until it's browned and cooked to your liking. While the steak is cooking, thinly slice 1 onion and 1 green bell pepper. Once the steak is cooked, add the onions and peppers to the pan and cook until softened. Now for the cheese, we're using 4 slices of provolone and 4 slices of American cheese for that authentic Philly cheesesteak experience. Who needs delivery when you can make this epic pizza quesadilla at home? It's the ultimate comfort food mashup. Start with your favorite pizza sauce. You'll need about 1/2 cup. Spread a thin layer on one side of each tortilla. Use 2 large tortillas. Now let's add our toppings. I'm going for classic pepperoni, sliced mushrooms, and black olives. About 1/4 cup each. Sprinkle your toppings over the pizza sauce, then top it all off with a generous amount of mozzarella cheese. Around 1 cup of shredded mozzarella. We want that cheese to be bubbly and golden brown. This black bean and corn salsa quesadilla is a vegetarian dream. It's packed with fresh flavors and a satisfying crunch. Start by preparing the black bean and corn salsa. Combine 1 cup of black beans, 1 cup of corn kernels, 1/2 cup of diced red onion, 1 cup of diced tomatoes, 1/4 cup of chopped cilantro, the juice of 1 lime, and a touch of olive oil. Season it with salt and pepper to taste. While the salsa is marinating, prepare your cheese. I'm using a mix of 1 cup of Monterey Jack and 1 cup of pepper jack for a bit of a kick. This chicken, cheese, and bell pepper quesadilla is a classic for a reason. It's simple, flavorful, and always a crowd pleaser. Start by cooking and shredding 2 chicken breasts. Season them with salt, pepper, and your favorite herbs and spices. I like to add a touch of paprika and garlic powder for extra flavor. While the chicken is cooking, thinly slice 1 red, 1 yellow, and 1 orange bell pepper. I'm using a mix of red, yellow, and orange for a vibrant pop of color. Once the chicken is cooked and shredded, add it to a pan with the sliced bell peppers. Cook until the peppers are softened and slightly charred. Now for the cheese, I'm using a mix of 1 cup of shredded cheddar and 1 cup of shredded Monterey Jack for that perfect melt. Get ready for a taste of the Mediterranean with this spinach and feta quesadilla. It's a light and refreshing option that's packed with flavor. Start by wilting 2 cups of fresh spinach leaves. You can do this in a pan with a touch of olive oil or in the microwave. Once the spinach is wilted, squeeze out any excess moisture. In a bowl, combine the wilted spinach with 1/2 cup of crumbled feta cheese, 1/4 cup of chopped sun-dried tomatoes, and a sprinkle of 1 teaspoon of dried oregano. Season it with salt and pepper to taste. This tuna and cheese quesadilla takes a classic combination and elevates it to new heights. It's a quick and easy lunch or dinner option that's sure to satisfy. Start by draining a can of tuna and flaking it into a bowl. Add a dollop of mayonnaise, about 2 tablespoons, a squeeze of lemon juice, roughly 1 tablespoon, and a sprinkle of chopped red onion, around 2 tablespoons. Season it with salt and pepper to taste. For the cheese, I'm using a mix of cheddar and Swiss cheese, about 1/2 cup each, for a creamy and flavorful melt. Indulge in a touch of luxury with this decadent crab quesadilla. It's the perfect appetizer or light meal for a special occasion. Start by picking fresh crab meat to remove any shell fragments. You'll need about 1 cup of crab meat. In a bowl, combine the crab meat with a dollop of mayonnaise, approximately 2 tablespoons, a squeeze of lemon juice, about 1 tablespoon, and a sprinkle of chopped fresh chives, around 1 tablespoon. Season it with salt and pepper to taste. For the cheese, I'm using a mix of Gruyere and Fontina cheese, about 1/2 cup each, for a creamy and flavorful melt. Start your day off right with this protein-packed egg and bacon quesadilla. It's the perfect breakfast or brunch option that's sure to fuel your morning. Start by cooking 4 slices of bacon until they're crispy. Remove them from the pan and set them aside to drain on paper towels. In a bowl, whisk together 3 eggs with a splash of milk or cream. Season them with a pinch of salt and pepper. In the same pan, you cook the bacon, melt 1 tablespoon of butter, and pour in your egg mixture. Cook the eggs until they're set but still slightly runny. Get ready for a flavor explosion with this steak, cheese, and tomato quesadilla. It's a hearty and satisfying meal that's perfect for any occasion. Start by grilling or pan-searing a 1-pound flank steak to your liking. Season it generously with 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of pepper, and your favorite steak seasoning. Once the steak is cooked, let it rest for a few minutes before slicing it thinly against the grain. While the steak is resting, slice 2 medium tomatoes and 1 red onion. For the cheese, I'm using a mix of 1 cup of grated pepper jack and 1 cup of grated Oaxaca cheese for a creamy, melty, and slightly spicy bite. So there you have it, you lot. 15 quesadilla recipes that are far from amateur hour. Remember, a quesadilla is only as good as the ingredients you put in it and the love and care you put into making it. Use these recipes as a starting point, and don't be afraid to get creative with your fillings. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more tasty recipes. Now go forth and conquer the quesadilla.